I have some battlefield updates for you. We did not talk much about all fronts in previous video over the past 3 to 4 days. So today I'm going to brief you about four fronts. Firstly, DASI. What's happening on this front? TDF was very close to DASI. Has it been pushed back or it's close to DASI? We'll discuss about TDF's advance on DASI front. Is this advance continuing or TDF has been pushed back? We'll talk about that. Secondly, Gashina, TDF was in control of Gashina, but fighting was being reported to the south and north of Gashina, especially the north of Gashina in mountainous areas in Debege Mountains. There was fighting reported. Here, reportedly, Tigray Defense Force has made some gains to the north of Gashina. Thirdly, Vog Himra zone. We know that Ethiopian National Defense Force, Amhara forces, they crossed Ibnath Emdework Bridge. They entered Vog Himra a few days ago. Here they have made some gains and another place has come under ENDF and Amhara control. Lastly, we'll talk about Shifra. Yesterday, ENDF and Afar forces launched a major attack on Shifra to dislodge TDF from Shifra. What's the latest from Shifra and Iva Wareda as well? Because yesterday we heard that some civilians were killed in Iva due to artillery strikes by Tigray Defense Force. Firstly, it was DASI front. What's happening on this front? TDF was in hike almost 3 days ago. It was in Bistima. From hike and Bistima, it was trying to move towards DASI. Then we saw some reports about fighting in Boro Maida. Boro Maida is almost midway between DASI and hike. ENDF Amhara news sources, they have been claiming that TDF has been pushed back from hike, from Bistima, and fighting is not happening close to DASI. What we have confirmed so far, viewers, is that Boro Maida is still contested. Most sources are reporting that fighting is going on in Boro Maida. What about Hayek and Bestima? It's not clear who is in control of these places. I see Boro Maida, Hayek and Bestima as contested places. This entire area, Hayek, Bestima, Boro Maida, situation is fluid on this front. Yes, TDF could not go past Boro Maida. The way TDF was moving, it seemed it was about to enter DASI city 48 hours ago. We talked about that. But after that, we saw massive mobilization of locals, Fano militia members from Kambolcha towards DASI, then onwards to front lines. This is still happening. That large number of militia fighters, youth of DASI, Kambolcha, they are heading to front lines. That is why TDF's advance towards DASI, it has been checked. Having said that, can we say TDF has been pushed back altogether from DASI? No, we can't say that. Because fighting is still being reported near Boro Maida. It means that TDF is trying to hold its ground. Yes, it has not reached the outskirts of DASI city so far, but it's very close. It's trying to hold its ground, but it is faced with very stiff resistance as a large number of armed, unarmed, trained, untrained civilians from DASI, Kambolcha, they're heading to front lines. We can say that human wave attacks are being carried out on Dasi front. That is why situation is volatile on this front. Amhara leaders, Amhara activists, Ethiopian government backed activists, they are saying that Dasi and Kambolja is the lifeline. This front, the lifeline, and ENDF, Amhara forces, locals must defend this front. That is why there is huge mobilization of locals, of common youth on this front. So far, TDF has not been able to go past Boro Maida. Secondly, viewers, Gashina. TDF was in Gashina. It has remained in Gashina in the past 10 days since the start of ENDF offensive. It was in Gashina before that as well. We heard some rumors that TDF had withdrawn from Gashina, but ultimately we got confirmation that TDF was in Gashina. But fighting was being reported to the north of Gashina, in Dabeko Mountains, and to the south of Gashina. Dabeko was contested. I think I talked about that in a previous video as well. Now, since yesterday, we have been receiving some reports that reportedly Ethiopian National Defense Force, Amhara forces, have withdrawn from Dabeko. And Dabeko is now under Tigray Defense Force to the north of Gashina. TDF is in control of Dabeko and mountainous places. Gashina is already under Tigray Defense Force. It means Lalibela is very much secure to the north of Dabeko. Lalibela is still under Tigray Defense Force. So, small gains here by Tigray Defense, but strategic gains. Dabeko is very strategic, viewers. High places to the north of Gashina. Thirdly, Wog Himra. Here, ENDF was making gains. We talked about that in the previous video. ENDF Amhara forces had crossed Ibnath, Amdevak Bij. ENDF Amhara forces were in Amdevak. Now they have taken control of Asi town, a small town in Wog Himra zone. In Wog Himra, ENDF Amhara forces are making gains. No considerable gains. They're not close to Sikota, main city of Wog Himra. But yes, we can confirm that they are making small gains on Wog Himra front. Lastly, Shifra and Eva. Shifra came under TDF almost 3 days ago. We discussed about that in a video. Then yesterday, on Friday, ENDF Afar forces, they launched a major attack on Shifra to dislodge Tigray Defense Force from Shifra town. So far, we have not received any credible report that TDF has been pushed out of Shifra. So status quo is still there, that TDF is in control of Shifra, unless we have some solid information available. Fighting is being reported, but Shifra is still under a Tigray Defense Force. Having said that, TDF is not advancing towards Ethiopia-Djibouti road so far. No signs of any movement from Shifra towards Mile so far. Counter attack from ENDF Afar forces on Shifra underway. Lastly, viewers, Iva Wareda. We heard yesterday from some Afar news sources and some other news sources as well that some civilians have been killed in Iva. And most news sources say that Iva is under heavy artillery shelling. Iva is to the east of Uldia, to the east of Habro, to the east of Haro, the east of Haro Gobi. TDF is not in Iva, most sources say, but TDF is keeping Iva under pressure by conducting artillery strikes in which civilians are being killed. Civilian casualties must be condemned wherever they happen, whether they happen in Mekelle or in Ava or in Amhara cities. These killings must be condemned. Afar news sources say some civilians have been killed in TDF's artillery strikes on Eva Voreda. TDF is not in Eva so far, but it's keeping Eva under pressure to stop any advance of ENDF Afar forces from Eva towards Harogobi, Buldia. Today at 1400 hours GMT, we'll have our regular live chat session. Several developments have taken place over the past few days. In the session, we'll have a detailed look at what has happened over the past few days and what is going to happen in coming days. Join me at 1400 hours, 1400 hours GMT today, Saturday. I think for watching.